Welcome to Blood in the Snow Radio, where we give you the latest news and interviews with the best in Canadian genre cinema. Here are your hosts, Robert Bellamy and Festival Director Kelly Michael Stewart.
Bits Radio is back on the air. I'm co-host Rob Bellamy. Unfortunately, Kelly had to step away to do festival director stuff. So we are here with Fresh Meat. This is about influencers going into a prison where they don't know there's an inmate still living there. And Daniel, I'll get you to introduce yourself and your connection to the project.
No, thank you. I'm Daniel Turres, the director, writer, and producer behind the film Fresh Meat.
Yes. And what was this journey been like? Because I know back in the day when you first pitched this, it was like a wicked idea, and now it's alive.
Well, it was after doing my previous film, Here for Blood, I really wanted to focus on doing a slasher film.
Okay.
And the only thing that I was thinking about was, like, where would they be set? And the locals from Chatham reached out and said, there's an abandoned prison in our area. And as an independent film producer, you're like, gold. Just going to write a script based on that. That's going to work just perfect.
Yes, exactly. And it's got that, because it's a 19th century prison.
Yeah, 18th century, actually. It's old. Well, it's a county jail.
Yeah.
But we made it look like, it's a bigger than life. And there's something about both putting the actors, the cast, the crew, and filming inside a real location, because it really translates on screen as like a place that they're trapped.
And believe it or not, looking at that thing, it is a maximum security prison.
Cool. Thank you.
I worked there briefly.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Yeah. So that's how I know it's technically a maximum security prison. But you look at it, and like you said, it's a county jail.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some clever lighting, trickery, different angles, but it really does look like a labyrinth in the end, despite the fact that, we just kind of use the same cells over and over, but bars are bars.
Having been in there, it's fun to watch how you did that, because they slip in through this little cubby hole. They're going, oh, we're going to escape. I know where that cubby hole goes. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, so your first day on set, when you finally get in and you have everybody there, what's that feeling like?
Ooh, yeah. The first time I was on set, I really felt surreal that this is actually happening. I've gotten over 100 people inside of this abandoned prison. So that itself is like a movie on its own.
Right.
And like you're living in it. So it's kind of strange where you're making a fictitious story within the setting of some place that exists. It's bizarre to just fathom.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, because it took almost 2 years to finally get film, post, and put together, right? Mm-hmm. How stressful was that 2 years? Because I know just working on a project, once it's filmed, you feel better.
Yeah.
But post is still hell.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, independent filmmaking at this level where we're trying to achieve like a very high quality, it does not come easy, and it for sure has a lot of stresses. What is helpful to look at is, like, despite having all these stresses, you kind of realize that it's all for the best. Like, even though I'm focusing on, like, how do I get through the next day to make sure that this film has the best success and release it does, and then you look back at it and you realize, like, oh my God, all the stress and work you've been putting on it's paying off already. I just wish, like, I could be more present in that moment. I'm even now, even though, like, it's got so much great recognition, it's going to all these different festivals, and the audiences are really, grasping onto the film. I'm still thinking, like, okay, where's the next few steps? Got to get this movie out to this part, got to keep going. But I think it's well worth every bit of tears, sweat, and blood, and a lot of blood that went into this film.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
I know we came into film the day after you grabbed, and there was a lot of blood.
Yeah, that's right.
How much blood was used in this? Do you know?
Yeah, I was told we used, I believe, 40 gallons of blood. And I think it was like 10 gallons more from the previous film, which was called Here for Blood. So that's kind of, oh man. I thought some of the scenes in my mind were going to be a little bit like the horrifying scenes, like somehow funnier, but they were absolutely terrifying. And the amount of blood and the amount of, like, special effects that the Butcher Shop Effects Studios did with that, it's really was a terrifying nightmare to work on. I remember calling cut, not just to, like, cut the scene, but to actually, like, preserve my mind, at least for like I told myself my mom's gonna, like, disown me after this. This is horrible stuff.
Needed a breather.
Yeah. And I think the film has that, though. Overall, it has a good thrill ride.
Well, having mentioned Butcher Shop, was there ever anybody else on the radar when you started this project other than Carlos and the Butcher Shop to do they did?
No. I actually wrote this film more like a love letter towards those guys. When I first worked with them on Here for Blood, I remember the first day of filming the special effects scene where we ripped the head off of a character, and there was just a volcano of blood that hit the ceiling of the barn. And when I saw that, and it was just like this beautiful orchestral, theatrical, over the top blood scene, I was like, these are the guys I want to work with forever. This is the type of stuff I never get to see on film, and I want to bring this back to like the modern day filming. And like, so this whole film was, like I mentioned, was written like a love letter for them to be a part of, and they had so much creative freedom just to just punch it up even more. Like they did more than just like ripping pieces of body parts apart. They would add the extra layer of gruesome, fun terror inside of their work.
Well, and I'm going to give one of the gags out
Sure,
here.
go ahead.
When we were watching the film and the one girl gets her hair pulled, right?
Yeah.
We're all sitting there going, okay, that hair's coming off.
Yeah.
And we're watching one. This is taking a while, but you don't even notice it, that her head is slowly sliding between the bars. That was so beautifully shot.
Thank you.
The way they did that, like, you're right. Butcher Shop, there's no equal around here.
There's something, I think the beauty of horror film and genre filmmaking is it's great to just bend the rules. And I think the fan base really enjoys, subverting expectations. There's a film I really like called Ricky O, The Story of Ricky O, and it just has the most over-the-top special effects, and I really wanted the special Butcher Shops to do that. And so when I told them the scene, showed them the storyboards, they took it, and they figured out all the logistics and all the mechanisms on how that was going to work, and it paid off. And it made it easier to film, because like that could be something easily done like on a CGI way, and then you'd have to figure it out later.
Yep.
But because they made those like two heads, basically, we were able to film it in real time.
And that's the beautiful thing with physical effects, is you're on set. But a lot of the time with physical effects, you can see the cut. It's like, oh, that's where the dummy comes in.
Yeah, for sure.
That one was almost seamless. Like, legit, I thought I was watching her head the whole time.
That was a challenging scene, too, because it was, fortunately, the best part was that the head practical blended very well. But our editor did such a fantastic job, catching the moments to make it blend as seamlessly as possible. And I think it really did work.
Oh, yeah. Now, doing a physical effects movie and all that, what were some of the challenges that you came up across while you were filming?
Sure. Well, I think one of the main challenges is as much as it's a great location, it's a genuine prison. It's not made for a crew of 70 people at a time. So we were all tucked away in corners, cells, hallways that were ugh. So that was a major challenge. But thankfully, this crew, they were top notch, and they were super professional, and they just made it work within the space. So that was a challenge that we made the most out of.
Well, yeah, because just that back hallway is big enough for one person, literally.
Well, people were taking around single file, right? It was not made for a film set. We couldn't move any walls or anything. All the bars were, bolted where they were put. I remember one of the days I personally had to take apart 2 heavy metal, 4 sets of bunk beds out of a small cell room to make into a last minute set. And they obviously built it inside that cell, and that was just brutal to take apart.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Going back to the scripting side of it now, because you wrote this as well, correct? Mm-hmm. What brought this idea on? Was it the you said the location brought it on, but was that inmate story always kind of sitting there?
I'd say the location first, probably. It really helped, kind of get out of the creative rut of being I was thinking of different slasher films, but it does help when you're able to put it towards a real place. I remember when I was first writing the script, I imagined when I was told I was going to shoot a prison in Chatham, Ontario, I thought it was going to be like a Supermax, like a Prison Break, Alcatraz. I thought it was going to be huge. So I wrote this script with like major hallways and rec rooms and whatever. And then when I finally got on location, it's oh, okay, so it's a fraction of the size. Yeah. But it had its own charms and its uniqueness. And I was that was really helpful to adapt the first draft to work within the space. For example, you mentioned that cubby. Yeah. I was that's perfect. I'm going to utilize that. It had so much more different charms that I even didn't initially imagine, because I was basing off other films. So the location came first, and then the design of the inmate and the slasher. That was something that's been, I guess, cooking in the back of my mind for a long time, and it was just finally at the perfect spot to put it into.
Now, for Jeffrey, will a backstory ever come around about poor Jeffrey.
That's interesting you asked that. Yeah, this film is really it's supposed to be just like a fast-paced, high-paced, like get the hell out of there type of thing. Where like I don't think the mystery of him is the entire driving force, but an interesting part of him. There's definitely is a backstory for him. There's an origin, but this story was really just to get you trapped with this monster of a person, and yeah, there definitely will be an origin story to come, and I'm really excited for that.
That would be cool, yeah. Because with Michael Myers and that, gets up and keeps coming, you expect that from Michael Myers
sure.
in Supernatural. This guy's very grounded, and it's like, what the heck? What has he been through?
I also think like we're living in this day and age where like, if you're genuinely interested to know more about him, we could take our time to tell you that story. But we wanted to first, get you to realize the threat and the characteristics of him first. And I think that I hope is going to drive enough fans to be like, I really want to know more what happens to him and what happens to, after.
I think this is a great introduction. Absolutely.
Thanks.
And back to the filmmaking real quick, too, because I thought it was amazing how you made it look like it was in the middle of the frickin' forest from nowhere. And it's literally almost in the heart of Chatham.
Yeah, it's a suburbs.
Yeah.
There's like houses all around it. It is that was an interesting challenge. And again, the team, I could not have asked better. They found the perfect spots. So kind of the beauty of classic filmmaking is making the most of like what you got. There's something about having less resources and then you take your time to find the best parts.
And now not everything was in the jail, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you go about filming in the area?
Sure. Yeah, well, Chatham is like, it's got a lot of character in and around out space. For sure as a slasher independent film, it's always ideal to kind of make it like a singular one location. But just to add that little extra, like, bigger than life moment where you're outside of the prison, we were able to utilize another location called the Red Barn Brewing Company as an opening for the film. So they're all meeting up there first. It's bright, it's light, it's actually open space and it's positive, so that it's a big contrast to when they come to the prison where it's tight and dreary and horrible. And I think that's the stuff that helps just beef up your film a little bit more on the higher end, so it's not just like trapped in one location.
Well, yeah, because you easily could have started them meeting right at the woods there when they walked in.
Yeah.
But you're right, when they meet at that pub, that brewery, it gives optimism. It's like hope. And then...
Ooh, also, one of the things I really liked was, I really wanted to make sure we utilized, because it is a county jail, there's a courthouse on top of it. We mostly used the courthouse for, like, production crew, but we had one scene where I wanted to show, like, the influencers, their online channels, like they break into abandoned prisons or abandoned places, and like to establish what they do, we utilize that abandoned courthouse above the same location, and it's cool in my mind because I think from an audience perspective, it looks like we went to a complete other place, but it was really on the same location. But that's the stuff I really like. It's fun.
And that was good because, yeah, you're right. There's the courthouse, there's the jail, and there's actually an OPP section.
That's right.
Right beside, hooked to it as well. So filming around that's got to have been a chore.
It was something. I remember they do a lot of tactical training there, and so I remember seeing a lot of OPP at one point that's full of tactical gears, and they're all looking at my cast that's wearing like orange prison jumpsuits, just like what I'm wearing right now. So, and I was like, I just had to assure them like they're cast. They're not they're not on the run or anything.
It's like, oh, good, we get target dummies today.
Exactly.
Oh man. So now that you're on the festival circuit, how is it being received? Because I know you did the premiere in Chatham, right? How is it being received so
far? During the submission process alone, it seems that like people are like instantaneously like watching it quite quickly and like starting to book up where I'm heading. I can't confirm yet, but it looks like I will be going overseas towards UK pretty soon.
Nice.
The States is obviously one of the biggest parts that we're looking forward to, showcasing the film. So we have, it's just right now because the film literally just finished and this is our first film festival to start. We're lining up so many fun logistics to get this film to the audiences it deserves, because it is really like a fan-based theater experience type of movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And Here for Blood gave me that real great opportunity to like be a part of that fan base and group to like really cater this film towards another fantastic theater experience.
Well, it's going to be interesting for number 3 because if you look at the step up from 1 to 2, there's quite a lot more blood.
Yeah, and I there's some type of like, I love Here for Blood a lot. It's got so much heart and humor in it. This one definitely went a little more on the mature side, both in its execution and story, I guess, as well. yeah, man, I got too many freaking ideas in this brain right now that it's kind of all melted into one. So it might end up being an anthology at this point.
I guess one last question. Drink boxes. Where did that come from?
Juice boxes. Yeah.
That was like my favorite part of that, the comedic side of that movie.
Sure. That's a callback to my very first film, Terry's Car Gets Stolen. I made that when I was 18. You can find it on Tubi. If you watch that film, do see the progression of how far I've come from there. It was definitely like a fun, like, young kids passion project, and there's a scene there where actually, funny enough, the same actor who plays the inmate, he played a character called Porno Paul in that film, and he's in a hippie's living room, and they just get in there, and it's weird and awkward, and the guy offers him, like, are you thirsty? You want juice boxes? I got juice boxes. And I was like, that feels like such a iconic classic line in moment. And especially when you're in a horrifying film like Fresh Meat, I really want to make sure it balances out with that thrill ride humor to kind of like, so it's not just gratuitous horrible feelings throughout. Like, I think levity does help at least keep your energy levels going with it, attached to the characters, and that moment is just a perfect like release of like the tension you just experienced.
Exactly. Well, Daniel, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for coming to Bits, and good luck tonight, because tonight's your screening.
Tonight's the screening, November 20th. Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a long time coming. I'm so excited.
Excellent. Well, good luck tonight.
No, thank you.
Join us next time for Blood in the Snow Radio. Bits Radio is a production of Three Evil Cats Productions in association with the Blood in the Snow Canadian Film Festival. For more information and to listen to other episodes, visit bloodinthesnow.ca and tweet us at BitsFilmFest. Music by Jan Gorman, produced and edited by Kelly Michael Stewart. I am Eduardo Correa